on the Aggie Sports Network. From Learfield, Aggie basketball has been brought to you by Sports Academy and Racket Club. Your club, your results, your life. Zions Bank. For 150 years of helping you succeed, Zions Bank is for you. Ford. Build Ford proud. Also by Stokes. Stokes Trucking. Doing the right thing since 1979. Welcome to Aggie Postgame from the All-in-One Flooring America radio booth. Here's Scott Jerrod.
Time for your post-game show, brought to you by Farm Bureau agent Brandon Jensen. Give him a call at 435-752-4800. It's your future. Time to protect it. Well, it wouldn't be an Aggie game without a little self-inflicted drama coming down the stretch, but Utah State able to get it done and get the 8-point victory and pick up win number 22 on the season, 22-3 and 12-2 in Mountain West Conference play. And here to help us break it down, the head coach of the Aggies, Jerrod Calhoun. And Coach, you guys like to make things interesting down the stretch, don't you?
Yeah, you know what? Can you hear me, Scott?
Yeah, I got you. You got me.
Anymore, at this point in the season, I could care less. A win's a win. 22-3. That's all I'm going to say. But
Yep.
yeah, you guys know basketball. You watched it.
Hey, great energy coming out. I even pointed out to Scotty, just that first play, the way Ian came off the turn, his body language was very different than the last two home games. And obviously he played great at Fresno. But talk about a 9 o'clock tip-off and just the energy your guys had at the beginning.
Yeah, I want to shout out the student body and really our fan base, man. They stuck by us the whole night. Nobody left early. It's a late start. A lot of little kids in here. I think my kids are going in late tomorrow, my wife said, over at Providence. So if they don't see them in the morning, that's why.
It's excused.
Excused absence.
Excused. But I thought Mace was awesome. I thought Auburn had his best game of the season. He was really good. His rolls to the basket were exceptional. Our guys did a good job of finding them. Colorado State's a very good team, well coached, not going to ever give up. And to win games this late in the season, that's what it's about.
They get hot in the second half from three, and they're trying to make the run. And every time you guys are able to at least hold on and not allow them to really get it to a two-possession game. There was a lot of adversity there with them getting hot from beyond the three-point line, but you guys were able to hold them at bay.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we did a better job when we went man-to-man, but you got to give them a lot of credit. I think the credit goes to Colorado State. I mean, this team has been playing really, really well. They understand their roles now. They got a lot of new players, and they're as dangerous as anybody. I mean, 18 assists, 11 turnovers. They were exceptional in the second half. You know, they shot 45 from the field and 48 from three, made 10 threes. We only gave up 3 in the first half. It's our stamina, guys. We don't have it. That's something we lack.
Well, and I was going to point that out. They did not get easy looks in the first half. Like, they worked. Nick Clifford hit a couple mid-range, and, I mean, maybe a layup or two, but for the most part, you guys made them work for everything in the first half. Talk a little bit about just the first half. Was it energy, or was it scheme, or a combination?
Yeah, I think it's all, that kind of all goes hand in hand. When you got good ball pressure, you're jumping to the ball, you're getting through ball screens. Second half, we shrunk on ball screens. They ball screened us more, less cutting, more ball screens. Weren't very good in that. But, Spence, it's all stamina, man. Like, at the end of the day, you can't say, like, our defense is any worse in the second half. It's our mentality, but we don't have it, you know what I mean? So we just got to try to find ways to win. We just don't have that right now in the second half.
Is that something that you can collect by the end of the season?
I don't think. There's not enough practice time, unfortunately, Scotty. Got to keep plugging away, man. Just build big leads, I can tell you that. Build big leads, and you shoot the three like that.
Make the first 7 threes and get a 23-point lead.
But no, I hope the guys learn from it. I mean, it's frustrating, but it is what it is at this point in the season.
22-3, Coach.
Phenomenal. Yeah,
you got a tough game coming up, New Mexico, but you got to feel really good about getting the home win against Colorado State. It's going to be a pack. You guys, Colorado State, Boise, San Diego State. I mean, and any advantage you can have to try to jump up a seed in the tournament is huge, right?
Yeah, I think you need 25 wins to get in the NCAA tournament. I think if you're 25-6, I think you're in. So every win we get, I think you're gearing toward that. But we're in the hunt for a conference championship.
Yeah.
You know, we got to go on the road at New Mexico and have defensive stamina, play like we did against San Diego State, Nevada, and St. Mary's. You know, like seems like 2 years ago. But if we can have that mentality on the road and just guard people and make a few shots, we can beat anybody in the country. You know, but we've been a tale of two halves, unfortunately, lately, you know.
Martinez leaves the game with 2 fouls in the first 2.5 minutes, and I thought your guys really rallied and played well, knowing that, the big gun was going to be gone for most of the half.
Yeah, I mean, it was a physical game, tough game to call. At one point I told Earl, it's, whatever time back on the East Coast, right? It's already, what time is it here?
It's 11:30.
Like, enough's enough. If people are still up listening to me talk, they need to get a life. For you guys, I mean, let's all get to bed tonight.
No, we've got quite a following in Vermont, Maine, and Massachusetts that are still listening to this.
They are. God bless them. I love them. They're diehards. I bet you Tantoul are still up.
That's exactly right.
You get a bit of an extra day before New Mexico. How beneficial is that when you talk about stamina?
Yeah, I think good. I think this is a good time. We'll be off tomorrow, and then we're going to do like 30-minute workout groups and try to make some foul shots on Thursday. See if we can't make a few here in the spec.
I didn't have a chance to talk to you after the New Mexico game, or not the New Mexico game, the Fresno game. Doghouse Grill, live up to your expectations?
Yeah, you know what? I don't eat post-game, Scotty. I
try
to
to
eat,
so you didn't get the tri-tip.
I try to eat 2 meals a day. So if I eat 3, I'd be like, 270. I mean, there's been seasons where I just get jacked up in my weight. So since I got here, I try to eat like a light breakfast.
Yeah.
And then our pregame meals at 5. So I shut it down. But I think the kids really did like it.
Okay, good. Because I kind of put myself out there on that one. Well, Coach, appreciate it.
All
Thanks.
right, guys. Get
Congratulations.
some sleep tonight.
You got it.
Coach.
There he is.
You were there. You watched the game. Or you heard it all here on KVNU. So now it's your chance to give your thoughts and ask your questions about the action as KVNU Aggie Game Day continues with Aggie Call. The phone line is 435-753-KVNU. The text line is 435-554-1175. KVNU Aggie Game Day is brought to you by Daryl's Appliance, Advanced Heating and Air, Primrose Home Care and Hospice, Blue Sky Restoration, Advanced Garage Door, The Logo Shop, Advanced Fireplace and Stove, Golden Spike Electric, Alpine Home Medical, S.E. Needham Jewelers, My Mattress, Riverwoods Conference Center, Cache Valley Bank, Aegis Healthcare, Jarrick's Fine Jewelry, Les Olson IT, Adams Wealth Advisors, DD Auto and Salvage, LSS Insurance Agency, Cafe Sabor, The Sportsman. It's KVNU Aggie Call with J.D. Walker and Stockton Jukes.
Well, the A is blue in Cache Valley. A beautiful night here as the Aggies take down Colorado State 93-85. Stockton Jukes, Jalen Moore, J.D. Walker with you. And your feedback, your sounding off 435-554-1175 is the KVNU text line. If you want to sound off, 753-5868. That's 753-KVNU is the phone line. And Stockton, first thoughts, we talked before, we kind of had who was going to have a big game, who was going to do some things. And I don't remember who said it, but somebody on the pregame show who's got great prognostication skills, Nostradamus, maybe a little play on that a little bit, but all the starters in double figures tonight for the Aggies.
Yeah, I thought you were about to have an aneurysm when Dayton went to the line for a couple different tries at the end of that game, but he got there. Dayton had 10, Akano 11, 14 for Ian, 16 for Aubin, and 22 for Mason. Man, the one game I stopped picking him as player of the game, he goes crazy, and he comes back. But, yeah, no, Mason Falslev is back. That's so refreshing to see. 2 for 3 from him at the stripe, 4 for 6 from downtown, just 8 for 14 overall, 5 rebounds to go with it, 5 assists. So, going 5, and 20 is mad impressive in any game. And I think tonight Utah State just executed so well that even though they shot 57% as a team from the free throw line, it just really didn't matter.
Yeah, not the complete game we were looking for, but they toyed with them a little bit at the end. It got kind of ticky-tacky there. Some of the fouls, that flagrant, I guess.
The turnovers ended up being a big the point of contention, too, at least in favor of Utah State. Only 6 turnovers given up for the Aggies, and that only allowed Colorado State to score 10 points off the turnovers, but 11 forced for Utah State, and they got 21 points off those turnovers. That's a huge swing. And then another big thing that I'm looking at that we were talking about before the game is bench points. Now, Colorado State, they got 17, Utah State got 20, but the Aggies, because of that 52% as a team from 3, 59% as a team from the field, they opened up with such an offensive barrage that they're just the game was almost over by halftime. Now, you have a couple big swings back and forth coming out of the half. Utah State stretches it out again, but then in those last 10 minutes, something's going on right now. And Calhoun said it best, where it's the tale of two halves right now, but it's in reverse of what we got used to for the first couple months of the season, where they would struggle a little bit early in the game, and then they'd make the adjustment and look great for the last 25 minutes. Something has unfortunately flipped for Utah State. It's just they've been able to build cushions that keep them away from danger at the end of those games.
Riverwoods Conference Center, proud sponsors of Aggie Calls. They believe that your event should be your way. As Cass Valley's largest and most versatile event center, every event is welcome at Riverwoods Conference Center. At Alpine Home Medical is Utah's premier one-stop shop for home medical equipment. Joining us now, Jalen Moore. Give us your thoughts after the Aggies pick up the 8-point win. The lead bigger than that a lot of the night. The starters all in double figures. We're talking about it a little bit. Normally we see that bench come in and dominate. We still had great performances off the bench, but they only accounted for 20 points. The rest of the Aggies, the starting five, 73. First thoughts from you, Jalen?
Yeah, I think offensively we just did a great job. Like you guys said, we came out hot. We don't miss a three. I think we go 7 for 7 at the beginning of the game. Team looks good, playing hard offensively. Defense is flowing. Like you guys said, obviously the two halves thing is something that we'll have to try to just get a hold of. But gosh, when you're up by 20, like, it's harder than a lot of people think to sustain a big lead like that, and just continue to make things happen when the other team kind of can now just play and doesn't have anything, to lose. Then they came out, and that's kind of how Colorado State played in that second half. So I think, they obviously made a few more shots, had a couple guys step up, but I thought offensively it was nice. Like guys said, Mason's back. He looked good. Shot well from the free throw line. I think that's about the only blemish as a team. We just still have to shoot better from the free throw line. It does just let teams hang around towards the end. But offensively, man, like, you score 93 points a D1 game. Your offense looked good. And we got to take wins that we can get this late in the season. And we need these momentum boosts going into that game on Sunday for sure.
Talking to Jalen Moore on Aggie Call, brought to you by Daryl's Appliance on West on Airport Road. Why buy for Daryl's? Worry-free delivery and installation. Jalen, who else stood out to you? For me, I was really thinking this was kind of that we before me kind of motto that the Aggies have. We hear Coach talking about them making that extra pass. Tonight, 20 assists. We saw the guys dishing it all around. Even the big man, Aubin, getting into business with his 16 points, throwing in 4 assists there. What did you see that you liked from the Aggies today as they came out? It didn't seem like there was any kind of home hangover or anything. They came out. There wasn't a slow start. They just kind of hit the gas.
Yeah, they came out hot. They shot well. Colorado State was going under on a lot of ball screens and stuff like that, and our guys were stopping behind and hitting them. So that was big. I thought we were playing with confidence offensively. Like you said, I thought Gattaretzi stood out to me. Was nice to see him be a piece for us offensively in scoring, facilitating, making things happen. I thought that was big. It's big to get confidence from a big to help some of our guard play, especially when Ian went out, some early fouls and stuff like that. Like, some of these other guys had to step up, and I thought they did a good job. I really love the energy and just, like, enthusiasm and stuff that Dayton Albury has been playing with lately. Like, when he gets in transition, he's just a guy that just is so hard to stop, So I really like what we're doing offensively. Honestly, the only blemish is, like, the free throws as a team. That's the only thing offensively. We passing the ball well. We're taking care of the ball. We're rebounding at a high level. We just got to take care of business on free throws, because I do think when we play some more teams like San Diego State, like the New Mexico, those little extra points that we have there, those are when it's going to be very important that we make more of those as a team.
Talking to Jalen Moore here on Aggie Call after the Aggies take care of Colorado State in the Spectrum. And you heard Coach Calhoun talk about they're going to do some quick practices. At this point of the season, when there's only 7 conference games left, how is it as a player with conditioning and things? You hear him talk about recovery and things. How important is the balance between knowing how much from a coach should practice with his guys and how much they should rest?
Yeah, for sure. It's super important. That's like going to be one of the biggest things is recovery, staying healthy, especially when you have a team like ours that can make a push in the Mountain West tournament, potentially win the whole thing, and then, get a decent seed in the NCAA tournament. Like, you got to make sure that your team just stays healthy. Now we're playing most teams the second time round. We know what they're going to do scouting-wise. You're going to go through some scouting, you're going to watch a lot of film, but try to keep guys in recovery mode, keep them off their legs and feet as much as possible, and get good practices in, but they're not going to be super long. They're going to be super, instructional on what we need to do defensively, get a lot of shots up, those kind of things, review some of our offense and those things that we want to do in different games. But a lot of it's going to be recovery, and I think that's why, you see the extra day before we play New Mexico on Sunday. They're going to take tomorrow off. I think that's big for them. Come back, do a few little small practices here and there, and just kind of keep the guys fresh. But like I said, a lot of things are not going to change with 7 games left. You're not going to get in better shape and all that kind of stuff. So it's just important to keep them smart, keep them healthy, keep their stamina where it's at, and just be able to execute in these last few games.
Talking to Jalen Moore here on Aggie Call, brought to you by Cache Valley Bank. Mountains await, whatever challenges and opportunities you face, Cache Valley Bank is here to support and be your partner along the way. And NC Needham Jewelers, for 127 years, Utahns have trusted Needham Jewelers for the finest selection of diamond and jewelry. Talking to Jalen as we wrap up his section here on Aggie Call, how are you feeling? Is this coming up Sunday's afternoon matchup? Going to the pit against the Lobos, what's your confidence level like right now?
I feel good. We're on a win streak. We got 3 games in a row that we needed to take care of business in. They came to our place and beat them. Now we have a chance at redemption to go there and beat them. I think it's going to be a close game, and I potentially is the biggest game of the Mountain West season. This Sunday, I think it's going to be a lot of people tuned in. And it's going to be whoever wins this game most likely is going to win the regular season and have a really good seed going into that Mountain West tournament. So I feel good. The offense is clicking. Obviously we gave up a lot of points, but we're doing a lot of good things still to win games. So I think if we do those things, we shoot well, we're aggressive, we shoot, like I said, above 70% as a team from the free throw line. I think we have a good chance of going in there, especially if we take care of the ball as well, of going in there and beating New Mexico on their home court.
Talking to Jalen Moore here on Aggie Call after the Aggies put away Colorado State 93-85. Jalen, real quick, tell us where we can find you for the prep training for hoops here in Cache Valley. Also, your upcoming camp that you have in the beginning of March. Let us know where we can find you.
Yeah, for sure. The easiest way to reach out to me would be through email. It's nextlevelbasketball435@gmail.com, or visit us on our website at nextlevel435.com. And that'll have all of our tryouts, trainings, all that different kind of stuff that we have going on coming up this spring after the high school season and stuff is over. So, like I said, website nextlevel435.com. That'll have all the information that you'll need.
Hey, Jalen, you have a good night, man. Try to get some rest.
Awesome. I appreciate you guys.
Jalen Moore's appearance brought to you by Triton Medical Supply and Transportation, offering non-emergency medical transportation to and from medical appointments, hospitals, and nursing homes. They can also support medical equipment like walkers, wheelchairs, and even a stretcher. 435-557-6687 and DD Auto and Salvage, Cache Valley's #1 place to get the most metal and for your junk vehicles and scrap metals. Call them today, 787-1204. Checking out the text line real quick. Stockton, first one in. I know it's a late night here in Cache Valley. Just about 11 degrees outside. Don't see any problems with the Sardine Canyon or Logan Canyon right now, but just be really careful because it's pretty chilly out there. Coming up first, 8968. It's crazy the way the Aggies fall apart at the end of games lately. Thinking about what Jalen said and holding that down, and I've also seen some mentions on X. It's so funny. We on the FS1 or the Westminster Dog Show. By the way, props to Morty for winning. That guy, he was the real dog of the day. But it was so crazy trying to wait for the start of that and having to go to FS27 to
they
move
sent
over.
us to Fox Sports 2, and I guess there was a CONCACAF soccer match going on that they had to kick off FS2 for 10 minutes so they could finish the dog show post game. The show was over.
Yeah, we got
2 minutes before tip off, and
post-game.
they had to do the post game. So,
and it wasn't even brought to you by Kibbles and Bits or anything cool like that. Spud McKenzie wasn't even there, or the Taco Bell, the Chihuahua, but. I don't think fall apart is one of the things. I'm the kind of guy that I want the decisive win, but Jalen made a good point. These are Division I athletes. You got one of the best players in the Mountain West on the other side. They were going to come out like looking at the second half. They scored 55 points.
And that's it. There's two parts of that. Neat Clifford had a crazy game.
Yeah,
24 points, 16 rebounds.
That's nuts, man.
Unbelievable game. 9 for 9 from the free throw stripe. Only 3 for 7 from deep. But there was a 3-point barrage from Colorado State in that second half, and those 55 points allowed in the second half. To me, it seemed pretty clear. I don't know, maybe 5 minutes into that half, after Utah State went on that big run and stretched the lead back out, Colorado State started hitting their shots. Probably about halfway through, probably about halfway through that half, you need to adjust that defense to start pushing out a little bit further, because almost every possession, that ball is getting kicked inside and outside, and they're swinging it around. There's maybe 4 passes that team's making. They'll kick it in, out to the corner, and then back out up top to a wing. Utah State has collapsed entirely down to the baseline defensively, and there's a couple adjustments you can make there to push out and guard the perimeter a little more closely. But again, you got to take into account the context of, at that point, they're up by almost 20 points, and they can afford to give up some of those shots. The other part of it is, hey, the free throws have got to change, and I think it's good that Calhoun mentioned that is part of the practice plan. I know that's something we talked about after the game on Friday night. I do think it's part of the practice plan, and there it is from the man himself.
Just want to throw it out, because it's been an epidemic, but I'm really going to just focus on 2, because I'm going to give Aubin a pass. He went 2 for 4 at the line, but really it was Alberry 3 for 8, and then Allen 5 for 9.
Yeah, Drake struggled on the front end of some of those 1-and-1s. That's where Utah State really struggles, and that's where it starts to highlight itself. Is usually you get inside 8 minutes, and one of the teams is going to be in at least a single bonus. Now, you've got about 4 fouls where you've got to make the first free throw to get to the second free throw. That's the 1-and-1. And the Aggies blow a lot of
the first
2-point chances by just missing the first free throw, because you've got to go from, I think, 17 fouls to 11 or something like that to get to the double bonus. And if you're throwing away that first free throw, that's not just 4 points, you're missing 8 points there. So that's, I think, the thing that they've got to work on, and it's been necessitated. I also think, kind of like Jerrod Calhoun said, you're getting to a point, and kind of like Jalen said as well, Echo, you got 7 games left in the regular season. There's not really much else that you're going to do to your scheme, that you're going to do to your playbook, that you're going to do to any of the core stuff, and physically, there's not really much else that you can do to condition the guys or to up the muscle mass or whatever you want to do. You just got to start focusing on the fundamentals and the core things that are hurting you, and free throws is, I think, the biggest one.
9227 with this just coming in. I'm dead serious. Can the refs give you a chest pass and you shoot the free throw as a jumper? Like catch and shoot kind of feel. You know what? I would be willing to check out the rule book and see if there isn't something to do about that.
I don't know for sure, but I think the ref has to check to make sure the lane is clear and all this kind of stuff. I'm not sure what the official procedure is. That's something to ask. But whatever works at this point. But I will say, it's something that I've been saying for the last couple of weeks. I don't think there's really anything other than repetition that can help at this point. You just need to keep shooting free throws until you can make them more often than you can miss them.
Coming in next from 9315, looks like we got a couple 14 for 25 from the free throws. This is only week thing we did today. What was with the flagrant foul dragged out the game longer? That was a 50-50 go anyway, so that was fun. I
saw a very funny tweet about this.
Okay.
It said Tommy Nunez hit Jerrod Calhoun harder than anyone involved in that
foul. I didn't see it. They said hook and hold, but
it was ridiculous.
It kind of looked like they were doing.
I'm not even sure it was a common foul.
I think they were doing the Oklahoma square dance and just like hooking the partner and going around.
I think it was Dayton, right, that was involved in the foul. He goes up against Morton, I think is the guy's name.
It was a 72-year-old guy.
Yeah. I swear that guy's a stake president, but he gets hooked in the left arm, and they're back to back kind of, or at least I think Morton had more of an angle towards him. They get tangled up incidentally on the arms, and then Alberry starts to fall, and so he releases as he's falling down, and they said it was a hook and hold flagrant one. It was a soft common foul at best. That I I mean, I'm out of words for officials in this day and age of basketball because they keep finding ways to blow my mind with their incompetence.
Oh, man, I know I'm pulling the pin on the grenade, and I'm throwing it into the room. But I want you to give me your thoughts tonight. We had an Aggie that fouled out, and I don't think he fouled out. And, of course, I'm on the Carson Tamplin fan bus. I'm driving the thing. But that last foul, to foul him out, that was about the weakest thing ever. Stockton, you don't ever hold back when it comes back to officiating and stuff. Tell me what you thought that those
That
fouls.
was the residual foul they took away from Nelly Jr. Joseph a couple games ago. They had to find somewhere to put it, and they found Carson.
Oh, it was bad. Like, I felt bad for Carson today. It was like...
I mean, it wasn't bad for the first 30 minutes, and then it was just maybe the softest, stupidest stuff at the very end of the game, especially in the last 90 seconds to drag out a game. The last foul that they gave Colorado State with, 2.3 seconds left, that was the dumbest call I've ever seen in my life. What are we doing? It's a 9-point game with 2.5 seconds left. Let them bump into each other. It's fine. Incompetence to levels that I have never previously seen.
Coming up next, 8070. Anyone know what happened to Mason this week? Impressed with how he stepped up. All of them felt like a big shift. I don't think anything. I think Mason's just going through the season of being a student athlete.
Slumps happen.
Yeah, having his stuff and everything going on there.
Yeah, stuff like that's going to happen. And again, it's all mental stuff. There's jitters that happen. There's things that get in your head. You overthink mechanics. It starts to feel weird when you go through these motions. And then all of a sudden, just as quickly as it starts to feel right again. So I think that's where he's trending. And I think a lot of people are hitting the nail on the head where if we see the first 30 minutes that we saw out of this Utah State team on Sunday, it's a tall glass of water for New Mexico. That being said, they beat us by 19 on our home floor. So you're going to have to play the best, I think, game of basketball we've played this season, better than you did at St. Mary's in San Diego.
Helps if I turn that on, doesn't it?
Yeah, buttons are not your friend.
Absolutely. Almost about 10 minutes to midnight as the A is blue here in Cache Valley. It is a cold one out there, 11 degrees, but the Sardine Canyon looks like it's okay. So does Logan Canyon. Just be safe out there, really cold. And calling the Aggie phone line gets you to the front of the line, 753-5868. That's 753-KVNU. And Gio joining us. Actually, hold on one second. Gio, I am using the magic of radio. Bam. Gio, you're on the air.
Hey, guys. So what breed was that dog that won the dog show again?
Man, I forgot.
It was from the working class.
It was a giant something, but blue-collar dog.
It was 17. It was the 17th win in the Westminster. I learned so much about dogs today.
They're playing it again right now.
Yeah, in fact,
did you know that a Welsh Springer Spaniel has a waterproof coat?
You know what? I did know that. But, I'm going to get the highlights from the dog show on SportsCenter later tonight. So, what are we doing here? We're holding a game that's at 9 o'clock already, 10 minutes for a freaking dog show.
Yeah, the programming manager over there is not doing a great job lately.
Yeah, that's surprising. And then that was a strangely refereed game. I kept looking up and I'm like, I really can't believe that we have equal fouls on both sides, because surely didn't feel that way. And I am very impressed. Nick Clifford is a great player.
Yeah, he is.
But if I was allowed to use my off arm that way, I might be a great player. The guys out there, it looked like a wrestling match with his off arm the whole time when he had the ball. So that was a little frustrating. But I did want to come back to, this team is
Gio, did I lose you?
To it. They just suck at that. It's terrible to say. And I'm a little bit, we've got this defense that's kind of gimmicky. And what I'm seeing as I learn about it is the level of effort that it takes to play it at the right level is so unbelievably high, and the margin of error when we don't have that level of effort is so unbelievably small that the second we don't play with that kind of effort against good teams, we give up big runs. And you see it, this pattern, we're running out of gas every time. Coach is saying that we don't have enough stamina. Well, it's probably too late to get that better now, but I'm hoping for next year, if we're planning to continue to play this defense, which I believe in. I mean, Syracuse made a lot of hay with it for 20 years with Jim Boeheim was in charge there. But we got to get in better shape. And I feel weird saying that. Me and my 5'7", 235 pounds, right? But they got to get in better shape to be able to play that defense the way it needs to be played.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's one of the reasons that we saw such a barrage from the outside is they were a little slow. Their legs were a little heavy in that second half. And because of the speed and the kind of coordination of that ball movement from Colorado State where they're going, top of the key, down to the corner, back out to the wing, when you're rotating in that zone, you're just not fast enough in those rotations and you're giving up a lot of those open shots. So, yeah, I think maybe it is a little too late to really do some conditioning stuff, but that being said, Tuesday night now, they're going to have a day off tomorrow. They're going to have some, light practices, fundamental stuff, weightlifting stuff on Thursday, Friday. I'd imagine Saturday's the travel day and then Sunday. So they've got a good time to kind of recoup and get some energy back up. They've got the day advantage on New Mexico this time around. It was flipped when New Mexico came out here. So I think that's gonna play well into their ability to rotate on Sunday.
Yeah, that extra day is going to help for sure. I almost wonder about the only thing you can do at this point this year with it, I think, is rotate more guys in, give more bench minutes. We already play just about everybody except for 2 or 3 guys, but some of those guys might need a few more minutes. But then there's a balance there on the knife's edge for that. And I trust Coach Calhoun. He'll figure it out. You can't. It's tough to argue with 22-3, but at the same time, that margin for error it just seems to be a challenge for us.
And it's only going to get thinner in the next couple weeks too. Yeah, I think you're hitting the nail on the head here. Where it's just a couple things, stamina wise. Maybe it's the illness still wearing off on certain guys in the locker room. I don't know, but yeah, they're going to have to play higher energy defense on Sunday and then probably for the rest of the season.
Well, if Sunday, I think hopefully they can bring it all game, because that's literally the biggest game of the year at this point. And, and we'll see what the adjustments are for next year and what Coach Calhoun can adjust with now. He has pulled us out of that zone, once in a while on occasion. But anyway, I believe in Coach, and go Aggies. Hope here's to a good game on Sunday.
Yep. Thanks, Gio.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Joe. Drive safe home. Jira, text 554-1175 or the KVNU phone line if you want to get to the front of the line, 435-753-5868. That's 753-KVNU. Stockton, just checking the text line. We got it there clear.
I think we're through it. Everyone went to bed.
Yeah, I am.
I'd like to do that as well.
I'm actually going to check in with Jason Walker and see if we're getting post game from. So you're actually listening to me while I text Jason.
I'll give a quick shout out to Kevin Rawlings, who had the closest prediction tonight. He guessed 85-75, which normally wouldn't really be the closest, but everyone did not see this game going above like a combined 155. And so just by virtue of those being the highest numbers in the text, that's who is going to win tonight. So shout out, Kevin. That Cafe Sabor guest certificate is heading your way.
And as soon as I text Jason, do you know what he does?
He posts it.
He's got it uploaded right now. All right, we'll get Coach Calhoun's thoughts loaded in here. And we've got a player coming up. So first we'll go ahead and take the player here on KVNU Aggie Call. We're going to do a We'll get that stuff to you. I got to do a little radio magic here real quick, Stockton.
Wizardry buttons and whatnot.
Yeah, can you give me a rundown on the team stats real quick?
Let's go ahead and take a look. So it was obviously Mason leading the way for Utah State, a little over 50% from the field, 4 for 6 from 3, 2 for 3 from the stripe, and then those 5 assists, 5 rebounds. Just a killer night from him. Aubin was the second leading scorer tonight, a perfect 7 for 7 from the field, 2 for 4 from the stripe, 16 points with 6 boards and 4 assists. And I got to say, too, Aubin had a couple really strong rebounds in that second half, back-to-back defensive and then offensive rebounds that really, that's the kind of game that I expect from him on a normal basis. And seeing that out of him when he is, back from Fresno into a higher altitude venue that's encouraging. I like seeing that. Ian, 14 points, 50% from the field, 4 for 8, 4 for 7 from 3. So all 4 of his field goals came from outside the perimeter. 2 for 2 from the stripe, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 fouls. And then next up, it was Dex Acano, 4 for 6, 3 for 4 from outside. Did not go to the stripe, but had 2 boards. Dayton Albury, the 5th and final starter, with 10 points, 3 for 3, 1 for 1 from deep, 3 for 8, though, from the free throw line, 4 rebounds and an assist.
So I'm going to we'll go to the player interview right now. Jason Walker just signed up. Also, 0158. Why wasn't Jason Walker wearing his blue gloves like the students? Well, Jason's on Media Row, and I learned that you're not supposed to cheer on Media Row, so I don't think you can have blue gloves.
You're supposed to be neutral if you're working in the media, I guess as neutral as possible when you're wearing a Utah State polo. But
you know what? Can we talk? Is there any media out there in the world that's neutral when they work for? That's a debate for another day.
Yeah, it's. I mean, obviously you've got people that call games for the home team, and they're gonna have favorable feelings either way. I think the thing about it is you've got people that are working courtside, and the idea is that people that are working are not supposed to distract the players. I don't agree with it. I think cheering is a part of sports, but I am not about to try and change an entire trend in an entire industry.
We're going to look here real quick. Let me update
0783 has another text too. If there's one thing to lean on to give us hope that free throw shooting will be better in the tournament, Abilene Christian once had a 40% free throw shooter make 2 clutch free throws to upset Texas. So sometimes it just happens, man.
Absolutely. All right, first up on the interviews here, we got Aubin Gadarazzi, a big game tonight, arguably his best of the season so far as the Aggies take care of Colorado State. 93-85. Here's Aubin on KVNU Aggie Call.
Check. Got Utah State senior forward. Senior forward. Questions.
Big game from you. Obviously, you've had some games like this, but it's been a few. What was it like for you just having another big performance? So 16 points in this one.
I mean, it's always nice to perform, but I think it was more of a team win. Obviously, guys found me trying to get open. Guys deliver great passes. And obviously, I feel like a couple guys had a good game too. Mason did great. Ian led us from the start. He was a great leader today. So it's a team win.
What was that start like for you guys? You guys just came out like a house on fire there, and that big leader early on.
Yeah, just a sense of urgency, because we had a lot of respect for this team. But we were hungry. After this, the second half from Fresno, we had to prove something. So we were very hungry from the start. So yeah, really a sense of urgency.
In the first half, really the three was working, the ball, and then the second half, it seemed like you're kind of getting the ball inside more. I think you had 9 straight field goals in the paint. What was it like? And you had 3 straight dunks too in that stretch. What was that like, just trying to get the ball inside more?
Well, really just making reads, coach calling the plays, and then guys making the right reads, not being aggressive, going to the rim, and if the layup is there or it's an easy dunk, we're gonna take the best shot we can get.
Is that something you talked about in the second half at some point, trying to get inside more? Or is that just kind of
not really. It just happened. Like, guys were aggressive and the lane was opened up for us, so we took it.
Coach Calhoun has talked a lot recently about refocusing on the offensive boards and getting on the glass more.
How important is it, not that it's just an individual thing, but everybody's bought into that, everybody's attacking boards every time the ball goes out?
Because it helps. I mean, if it's only one guy that goes every time, it's going to be like 1-on-3 to crash the board. It's so much harder than if we got 3 guys going full speed trying to get a rebound. We got more chances to get it. You know.
Do you feel like the team has made strides in recent games?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We can still get better, but I think we're on the right way.
After such a great start and the way most of the game went, it was kind of frustrating the way things finished at the end.
For sure. It's like something that keeps happening. You know, we addressed it at practice. Our second halves has not been nearly as good as our first halves. So it is very frustrating because it's like kind of the same scenario. We're missing free throws and we can't get stops. So we're going to address it again and keep working, keep getting better.
There was a stretch there, a couple of games where the struggle was kind of getting off to a good start, and now how does it feel that the last couple of games you're just get out quick and get on
Like the way we be able to start fast, like the first half? Right. Yeah, it's just a sense of urgency. Like from the start, we got guys really excited, guys talking, and so yeah, we just excited and going crazy. And I feel like, I mean, we got the threes were falling today, so it gets us more hyped and gets even more going. Yeah.
There was a play there about 12 minutes left. It was kind of a high point for you guys to put you up by 22 points, but Mason got that one rebound off that missed 3 by Ian and hit you with the lob. It was almost like one fluid motion. What was that like being on the other side of that play for Mason?
It was awesome because we didn't even make eye contact. Usually, you know, we make eye contact or like it's off a ball screen and I know like I'm ready. But here I was ready, but he didn't even look at me. He just be aggressive and make the right read, just throw it. I was like, you know, it's awesome, man. You know, it's always great to play with guys like them. They're just so selfless. We're just having fun.
Abin Gadaranzi, post-game comments after the Aggies take down Colorado State in the Spectrum. You're listening to Aggie Call on KVNU Logan, 102.1 FM, 610 AM, and around the world at kvnutalk.com. Now time for Coach Calhoun's post-game comments here on Aggie Call.
Fire away, guys. What do we got?
It seems like you repeated the script from the Fresno State game down to the 20-point second half.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna take a really nice approach, Jason. Tonight we're 22-3. Let that sink in. 22-3 with 9 new players. So I'm going to be very positive tonight. But yeah, to answer your question, you got to give Colorado State a ton of credit, right? They just kept fighting back, making threes. It's tough when you miss that many free throws, right? You put extreme amount of pressure on your defense, and they're playing free, right? They're down 17, 18 points, and they're driving the ball. And then as you continue to get to foul line and miss, you have a lot of slippage, right? I thought we had slippage from the three-point line continually in the second half. Obviously, they scored 55 points. We've talked about it, but it's been a repeat pattern. So hopefully just build a big bunch of leads here in the last 6 games. We'll be in great shape.
Couldn't have asked for a better start.
No, I give our fans a ton of credit. 9 o'clock starts are tough during the week, right? Obviously, weekends are much different, but Herd was awesome, unbelievable. But there was a lot of little kids. I don't know if they're going to school tomorrow. I know my 3 girls are going in late over to Providence. Just a tough, you're waiting around all day. But, hey, we're on national TV, and it was just one of them games that would never end. It was kind of a weird game.
I got a positive one for you. This is a very good shooting defense that you played against tonight, one of the best in the conference. Most teams don't shoot 60% on these guys. What made your group different tonight?
Well, the ball had energy, the ball had power, and when you make shots, the things you draw up look really good. But we tried to put them in some unique spots. I thought our game plan offensively was really good. I thought Albin was awesome. I'm really happy for him when he gets behind the defense. I'm really happy for Mason. Just to see him smile again, see the ball go through. He had a phenomenal game. I thought he was really good in a lot of areas, not just scoring, but just impacting the game. His voice was really good in the huddles. So we had some guys that really, kind of broke out here a little bit, which is good. Ian only played 18 minutes, right? And we win by whatever we win. I mean, we had to sit him a long time. And that's one of those things. Like, if we were closer, if it was a 6 or 8 point game, I'm rolling the dice. I like to roll the dice and play those guys. We had a pretty good lead, so I felt okay at halftime, going up 15 and not having to put them back in. So the ball had energy, guys made shots. Colorado State's a fabulous team. Nico's a really good coach. He's not just a great offensive coach, he's a really good defensive coach. Their team, like you said, is third in points given up, and we racked up 93. So we got to be pretty happy with that.
Coach, kind of on that, the shooting. You started the game by hitting 7 threes. It felt like just a couple weeks ago we're sitting here asking what happened to the shooting, and now all of a sudden 7 threes in a row to start the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's like our defense, right? I mean, we're a streaky team. It's crazy. We're 22-3, and we've been pretty streaky really all year. Whether it's free throw shooting, defense, 3-point shooting, got to give our guys a ton of credit for finding a way. We're not the most physical team. We're not the most, we're not the biggest team. We actually might be one of the smallest teams in the Mountain West. To be honest with you, we start a 6'4" guy, and we play 4 guards, right? So I was really pleased with our physicality to match them on the glass. Was really good. But yeah, if we can make 7 out of 7, we'll be in great shape.
How much did that 8-0 start? I think you had an 8-0 lead before they even took a shot. Like, just how devastating you feel like that was to them, or you guys were up before they even made that goal?
Yeah, I mean, we talked. We had a really good guest speaker that runs our collective, Nick Elison. I thought he was phenomenal. He was one of the best speakers we've had all year. We've had a ton of people talk to our team, from former players, and it was really about attitude, right? And I think we have played a little tight, especially in the spectrum. We've got a lot of new guys playing in here for the first time. There's high expectations in Logan. There's just a buzz when you come down that tunnel, right? Relax, have a great attitude, no matter what happens in the game. We kept telling them that in every huddle, attitude. That's what he talked about, right? There's points in a season where you got to step up, players got to step up, you got to make plays. And we're able to do that from the jump. And I think that carried us, Jason, even to the bitter end. As you pointed out, we didn't finish this thing like we wanted, but I think the momentum of that gave us the belief, and we just made a few more plays.
Is it good or bad that this is a Tuesday game? You don't play at the next hotel?
It's good for me. I'm going to go to Phoenix bright and early tomorrow, see one of our recruits that's committed. So, it's tough getting out anymore. It's really hard. And to be able to get on a plane tomorrow and see one of our guys that, is committed, Kingston Tosi, I'm really excited about seeing him. He's having a tremendous year. And then we'll give the guys off tomorrow. We'll have very light shooting on Thursday and then 2-day prep. So, yeah, I think it's a good time. I like this Tuesday, Saturday stuff. The SEC does it a lot, or Tuesday, Sunday. The SEC does that quite a bit, I saw. So I like it.
I asked Auburn about the offensive rebounding last week as well.
Mm-hmm.
Even on the boards here today, but it seems like the effort there is improving and getting more guys crashing in. How do you think the guys have responded to that?
Yeah, I mean, these guys are, I have no complaints, Patrick, on anything. This has been one of the most gratifying seasons ever, to be honest with you. I've been part of a Final Four, a Sweet 16, a national runner-up, some really, really good teams. Great teams, right? Like legendary teams. This team is, they understand role identity. They understand we over me. They play the right way. So it's been incredible. So when we talk about things, whether it's offensive rebounding or, hey, get to this action, or we want to create high tags today, they're going to be in this pick and roll coverage. They take it to heart. They process the information. And, most nights we've been pretty good. So I think they're just, they listen.
I was curious just what you saw on that flagrant foul at the end.
I haven't seen it yet. I was kind of confused. I've been reading a lot of podcasts, and my wife's, this is the time of year, man. You can self-destruct. You can, teams can self-destruct. I think you have to be very careful how you coach kids. I think you have to be really, really careful on how long you practice, right? There's really a method to all this. So I'm learning about the let it go theory, right? We can learn that with our kids, right? We want our kids to do this, this, and this, and really trying to study that. And with the referees, I just let it go. I act like I don't even see it. There's no sense in really even talking to them anymore. I've taken that approach. I think we got great officials in the Mountain West. After the one incident, I said, what if I would have reacted like a madman, but I've never done that. But I don't think you get anywhere by screaming and yelling at officials. I'm not that guy. But
Coach Calhoun's post-game thoughts here on Aggie Call, and you heard it there. I think he really put it best, 22-3. When he's, answering the questions of things that there's a lot of success going on with this Aggie team. And, it'd be a lot different if this team was, 500, but 22-3 Stockton at this point in the season, you got to be pretty happy with them apples and oranges that we got.
Yeah, I think it was a great answer to Jason's questions. I'm taking a unique approach here. 22-3.
I'm going to be positive. I'm rubbing off on Coach Calhoun, that optimism.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of where I'm at as well. There's a couple baffling things about the officials, and I'm happy to go on little 30-second rants about it here and there. But at the end of the day, there's no sense in talking to them anymore because they're not going to tell you anything, and they're not going to get held accountable for it. So just move on, play the game of basketball. There's a lot of other things that go into a game than just the officiating, as influential as it can be at times. I don't think it played much of a factor tonight. And like 0891 said, our last text of the night, I'm absolutely loving this team. 22-3 is awesome to see. Aggie Nation needs to be proud. They will figure it out and play a complete game. They will peak at the right time. Calhoun knows what he's doing. I still believe all that. The team that I saw tonight is a team that's slowly building piece by piece into the full potential that they can have and execute at. And I think that we're going to get another piece of it on Sunday. Hopefully that helps us get to another win that can put us back in a tie for first place. And then you control your own destiny again. Right now, your destiny is in the hands of New Mexico, but you can take that back on Sunday, and I think they're in a position to do so.
Absolutely. It's just after about 15 minutes after midnight here in Cache Valley. The temperature outside, 11 degrees, maybe even a little colder out there. Sardine Canyon, Logan Canyon look clear to pass. That's going to wrap it up for me in Stockton. We will be back with you Sunday afternoon, 1 o'clock tip-off time against New Mexico. And I will see you tomorrow morning on the KVNU Morning Show with Will and Craig. Well, take care. Thanks for letting us do radio in the greatest place on earth for the greatest people on earth. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Utah State broadcast has been a presentation of News Talk KVNU and the Cache Valley Media Group, the heritage home for the Aggies.